A tractor A starts from rest and travels along the straight road for 500 seconds. The velocity time graph for the journey is shown above. The graph consists of three straight line segments. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Okay, find the distance traveled by A. Okay, so distance traveled by A for velocity time graph will be the area under the graph. Okay, if we find what is the area here, that will constitute of the distance traveled. So let's do that. It's a triangle, so it should be half times by 100 times by 4.8 plus, that's a trapezium, so 300 minus 100, which is 200, times by A plus B, which is 4.8 plus 7.2, and then multiply by half, and then plus another triangle, so that's 500 minus 300, which is 200, times by the height, which is 7.2, times by half, and all this will give us 240 plus 1200 plus 720, and the answer is 2160 meters. A, find the initial acceleration A. Initial acceleration, they're talking about between the first segment, within the first segment. Okay, this is the first segment. So okay, we already have the velocity as 4.8 between 0 to 100. So A equals to V over T. So in this case, 4.8 divided by 100, and the answer is 0.048 meter per second. 8 meter per second square. Okay, next, another tractor B starts from rest at the same instant as A and travels along the same road for 500 seconds. So basically it goes on the same path. Okay, its velocity t seconds after starting is given. V equals to 0.06 t minus 0.12312 t square, so 0.00012 t square. So differentiating this will give us acceleration. So dv over dt equals to 0.006 minus 0.00024 t. And since it says initial, so I'm going to look at the first segment, which is 100 seconds. So t equals to 100. So A equals to 0.06 minus 0.00024 multiplied by 100. And the answer is A equals to 0.06 minus, so we move 2 decimal places, so it should be 0.024. Okay, 0.024. The answer is 0.036 meter per second square. So for particle A, the initial acceleration was 0.048, and for particle B, initial acceleration is 0.036. So subtracting them, 0.048 minus 0.036 meter per second square, the answer is 0.012 meter per second square. Okay, don't worry about the sign, that's negative or positive. The question here, what is the difference? So the difference is 0.012 meter per second square. How much further B has traveled than A at the instant when B velocity reaches maximum. Okay, B's velocity reaches maximum. So when velocity reaches maximum, acceleration is 0. Okay, no acceleration. A equals to 0. So A equals to 0.06 minus 0.024, 0.024 t, and this is equal to 0. Okay, so find t when it reaches B's velocity reaches maximum. Find the t at which second. So to do that, equate 0. So negative 0.0024 t equals to negative 0.06. So t equals to 0.06 divide by 0.00024. Okay, should be 3 zeros. Okay, 2 times by 0.0012 is 0.00024. Okay, so 3 zeros. Okay, you gotta be really careful here. Okay, otherwise you won't get the right answer. So make sure when you do calculus, so many zeros. So make sure you write down all the zeros carefully. Okay, if you miss anything, your answer is going to be wrong. Okay, so when I divide this, I'm getting 252nd. Okay, so 252nd is the maximum speed on the 262nd. So now, how much further B has traveled than A? So to do that, we have to know what is the distance. So S equals to integrating V, which is 0.06 t minus 0.00012 t square. So when I integrate this, what I get 0.06 t square over 2 minus 0.00012 t cube over 3 and plus c. Okay. Since the limit is between 0 to 250, so we don't have to find what is c, because the question here, okay, what is the distance that it has traveled, so when it's maximum speed. Okay, so I don't have to have that, so the limit will be between 0 to 250. So let's do this. So 0.03250 square minus 0.00004. Okay, so this is 3 zeros. 12 divided by 3 is 0, 4. So it should be another 0. So it should be 4 zeros. And then 250 to the power of 3. And if you use your calculator, the answer is 1875 minus 625, which is 1250. Okay, 1250. So the distance traveled by B, okay, for 252nd is 1250 meters. But this is not what the question wants. The question wants how much further B has traveled than A. So to do this, I need to know what is the distance A has traveled. Okay, what is the distance A has traveled? The distance A has traveled, okay, so in 250 seconds, so that's 100 seconds, and this is, let's say, assume this is 250th second. So we can use a similar triangle model to find out what is the height over here. Okay, so what is the velocity at the point at the 250th second? So to do that, okay, I'm going to draw a triangle here. Okay, we already have that has 100, and then this is the height of, this is 4.8. okay, so the height of this triangle is 4.8 over here. And then we have a trapezium, but instead of us going all the way to 300, I'm going to go all the way to 250. Okay, we don't have to know what is up to 300 because that's not what we want. I just want what is the distance A covered in 250 seconds. So if this is, so for 300, let's say I accent this, and this is for 300. I'll use a separate color. Okay, so this is 300. For 300, okay, this is 7.2. So for 250, what is the height? Okay, this is where we use the similar triangle method. Okay, so let's find that. I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, break this. So this is 4.8, so that's 7.2. So 7.2 minus 4.8 is 2.4. Okay, so that is 2.4, and the distance between 100 to 300, this is 200 second. Okay, so if the distance between 100 to 250 is 150, what would be the height over here? That's what we have to find. So to do this, we use the similar triangle method, okay, a similar shape. So I'll draw a separate triangle so that it doesn't confuse us. So for 300, 300 minus 100, the distance here is 200, and the height here is 2.4. So for 250 to 100, this is 150, 250 minus 100, which is 150, and I'll just make this as x. Okay, so 2.4 over x equals to 200 over 150. So 200 x equals to 150 times 2.4. So x equals to 150 times 2.4 over 200, which is 150 times 2.4 divided by 200. The answer is 1.8. Okay, so x is 1.8. Oops. Okay, x is 1.8. Okay, x is 1.8, but over here it's 4.8. So 4.8 plus 1.8, that would be 4.8 plus 1.8, 6.6. So this height here is 6.6. Now we can find what is the area for the entire shape over here. Okay, so let's pick part 1 and then part 2. Part 1 is a triangle. Okay, part 1 is a triangle, so it's just half times by base, which is 100, times by height 4.8, plus part 2, it's a trapezium. So the difference here is 250 minus 100, which is 150, times by a plus b 4.8 plus 6.6, and times by half. Okay, so add all of them. So it is 240. And that's 855. And add both of them. It's 1095. So the distance A covered in 250 seconds is 1095, and the distance B covered in 250 seconds is 1250. So therefore the difference between them is 1250 minus 1095, which is 155.